have finished objects. I have finished objects. I have finished objects. Yay! Finished objects! Hello everybody! Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. You can find me on Instagram as misslavellia and you can find me on Ravelry as misslavellia. Thank you so much if you are coming back, and welcome if this is your first time watching one of my videos. It's lovely to have you here. Yeah, if you like what you see, please subscribe. I am trying to update on a regular basis. This is my What's on My Needles of January 2016. It's my first What's on Your Needles of this year, which is pretty exciting. A lot has been happening since I last spoke to you. I have been organising my stash like a demon. I have gone through and catalogued pretty much all the yarn that I have. It's all been moved to a nice new home in my bookcase, which is actually just over here. I'm actually admiring my yarn stash as I talk to you. I've been listening to a Curious Handmade podcast, and Helen, who does that podcast, has been doing an incredible kind of love your stash set of podcast seats each week. So I'd really recommend, if you're wanting to do a bit of New Year's sorting out and organising, I'd really recommend her podcasts. The other thing that I have been doing since I last saw you is I have started my knitting journal. In this, I'm basically kind of documenting, let me show you here, the project that I've been doing, when I started, when I finished. I have the yarn label in there as well. I haven't yet added little kind of bits of the yarn, but I think I may do that in the near future. So yeah, I guess we should just get started straight away with finished objects, because I'm wearing one of them. Yay! I finished my cabled sweater. So let me just show you here. My lovely cabled sweater. I have to admit, guys, I did not get this finished in time for Christmas. Boo! I wasn't wearing this on Christmas Day, and I actually finished it this morning. So a little bit, maybe nearly a month overdue, but now that it's finished, I'm absolutely thrilled. It's made in the Excelana 4-ply in the ruby red colourway, based on a vintage pattern from a Vogue Knitting book from the 1950s. And as I've said previously, I did a lot of adaptations on this pattern. It was originally done in the flat in pieces. I knitted it completely in the round in one piece. I also picked up the sleeves in the armhole and knitted them straight all the way down. So it was a real learning experience for me. It's been a long time since I've made a sweater. I used to do them regularly, but I haven't in quite a long time. So this was, an interesting but amazing experience. And now that it's done, I'm not going to lie, I want to wear it all the time. It's so snuggly, and it's bloody freezing here at the moment. Also, this shirt that I am wearing with it, this is also made by me. This I did have finished in time for Christmas. I always wanted to have them paired together. This is I believe it's Granville shirt pattern by Sewaholic, I believe. It's my first ever button-down shirt. Obviously you can't see it because it's covered by the jumper, but I always wanted these two to be paired together. I want to make loads more of this shirt. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. It's kind of white and brown stripe, pinstripe fabric, and I did a little rounded collar on it. But I think it looked so pretty with the sweater. I do have some more finished objects to show you. First of all, I have two pairs of socks completed so far this month. Both of them are yarns that I received for Christmas. First pair are these. These are my Kingfisher socks. So the yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners in their Kingfisher colourway, and I knit these with an afterthought heel. I did quite a short cuff and kind of just a regular toe on them. 64 stitches on 2.25 needles. I used my new Carbons DPNs and I love them. And the contrast colour is by the same West Yorkshire Spinners in their spearmint colourway. I would say about this yarn, I've blocked these now, and that has considerably softened up the yarn. But when I was actually working on them, they're quite scratchy, which isn't something that I was anticipating from this yarn, to be honest. They were quite harsh on my hands, which made me not really want to kind of knit on them all the time. I don't know if that's something that anyone else who's used West Yorkshire Spinners has ever noticed. The yarn content, let me just check in my knitting journal. It has 75% wool, I believe, and the rest is nylon. And there is a little bit of blue-faced Leicester in the yarn. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised and disappointed with how scratchy these were. I haven't yet worn them because I wanted to show them to you guys before I wore them. But I'll let you know how I get on with them. My next finished object is my second pair of socks for January. 2 pairs of socks in January. I feel very smug, I'm not going to lie. And they are these. Check out the yummy gorgeousness of these. Oh my goodness. And there are 2 of them. Let me just show you. There are 2. They've kind of blown the camera out a little bit. But these are the This Way That Way socks by Mina Philipp, who is also the Knitting Expat podcast. And I love this pattern. If you can just see, it has this lovely up and down effect of the stitches. I also added a Fish Lips Kiss heel into these, and this is my first ever rounded toe on a sock, which again I really love. The yarn is Another Christmas Present. This is by WoolyWonders and it is the candy cane colourway. It has stellina in there, nylon, it's 75% superwash merino, and my goodness, these socks are so soft. Oh, I love them so much. They are so soft. And in comparison to the West Yorkshire Spinners yarn that I was using, this was like dreamy. To cast these on afterwards was just amazing. And what I did on these, on the cuff, I did 20 rows of 1 by 1 twisted rib. And I think this is going to be my go-to cuff from now, because they look so pretty, and I think I like a slightly bigger cuff than the ones that I did on my my Kingfisher socks. But yeah, I'm so happy with these, and obviously that means I have already surpassed my goal for this month in terms of socks. I said I wanted to knit 1 pair of socks per month, and I've already made 2. And I have a couple more on the needles as well, so you never know, by the end of January I may have made, you know, a lot more than just the 1 pair of socks. Also, this sweater counts as my 1 large project finished in January, so I'm well on my way for that goal as well. So my 1 final finished object is something that I am so proud of. It's not something that I showed you in my previous What's on My Needles. It's something that I started since then. And here we go. This, guys, is I like to call it my Enchanted unicorn shawl. Let me just show you the beading. Oh, the beading. This is my first ever shawl project and my first ever beaded project, and oh my goodness, I am so proud. I am so happy with it. The pattern is the Winter Wonder Shawl by Helen Stewart, who also does the Curious Handmade podcast that I mentioned earlier. And I knit this for the beadalong, which was being hosted by the Shinybees podcast by Jo of Shinybees. I actually don't really know how managed to get an honourable mention on Jo's podcast that aired this week. So I was just listening away to her podcast as usual, and she mentioned my shawl and how she thought it was amazing, and she loved the yarn, which incidentally is Unicorn Tail by a Homespun house, and obviously Rowan Kidsilk Haze in the lace panel, and how she loved the beading, how she loved the colour, and she mentioned me by my Ravelry name, misslavellia. And I was just listening away to the podcast, and I genuinely squealed with excitement when I heard my Ravelry name being mentioned on her podcast. So thank you so much, Jo. I'm so glad that you like the shawl. I loved making it, and I was just happy to take part. I don't know the best way to wear it, to be honest, to show off the beads. I think I like wearing it kind of this way and then pinned at the back, because then you can see the edging and everything, which I think is really pretty. But I'll have a play around. Obviously I wouldn't wear it with a red jumper underneath it, or a burgundy jumper underneath it. This yarn by a Homespun house is absolutely stunning. Molly of a Homespun house. I have several skeins of her yarn now, and I just want more. I go onto her website all the time, and I'm like, I could have that and this other thing. But this is on her Bakken fingering base, which is 70% superwash merino, 25% cashmere, and 5% nylon. And obviously the Kidsilk Haze is 70% mohair and then 30% silk. So this shawl has cashmere, mohair and silk and beads and lace and everything, and I just love it so much. I have a couple of weddings that I'm going to this year in April time, and I just think this will be perfect to wear to something different and fun, and I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy with it. It's a beautiful pattern. I would fully recommend it to anyone who wants to try beading and lace. Basically, I love my shawl, I love my shawl, I love my shawl, I love it. Pretty much is the theme of the day. So those are all my finished objects. Let's move on to works in progress. So off the back of my winter wander shawl, I decided pretty much straight away that I wanted another shawl. I have been bitten by the shawl making bug. I am so ready to knit another shawl. So in my fondant fibre happiness is homemade bag, I have my new shawl project, which is here. Ta-da! So this pattern is by Kay Jones, and if you recognise that name, it's because Kay and her husband Dan do another podcast, which is the Bakery Bears podcast, and this is one of Kay's beautiful shawl patterns, and it is called the Duchess of Devonshire, and if you can see, it's got all these lovely little eyelets in it, and I'm loving it. One of the other reasons that I'm loving it is the yarn, and some of you may recognise this yarn. This yarn has been quite popular on the old interwebs. Let me just show you my little cake here, made on my ball winder, which I am loving using, by the way. My little cake here. This is Outlander. Yeah, this is Outlander yarn. My first ever use of Voolenvine yarns. Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast obviously is the owner of Voolenvine yarns, and I have been I was basically stalking her Instagram, waiting for her to do an update. And pretty much just before New Year, she did a little mini update, and I managed to snag a couple of skeins of her Outlander colourway. This is her Volke base. So in this, there is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere. I'm on a bit of a cashmere kick at the moment, I'm not going to lie, and 10% nylon. And oh my god, this is just so soft, so squishy. It is fingering weight again. I'm very into fingering weight yarn. I've got a lot of fingering weight yarn kind of knocking about now. That is my new shawl project, which is currently on the needles. I am knitting this on, I believe they're 4mm on my higher sharps, on my interchangeables that I got for Christmas, and I love them. I love them. So yeah, maybe next time I will have finished that, because I'm on a bit of a roll with my knitting at the moment. Obviously, when you finish a pair of socks, you have to cast on another pair. So my next work in progress is a pair of socks. Now, I mentioned on my last video, on my Christmas gifts video, that I had never had a project bag before the Fondant Fibres one that Emrys bought me as a Christmas gift. And I was so excited to have it, but obviously I only had one. So that didn't seem fair. So I made this. So this is my first ever little project bag that I've made. And if you can see, it's got little space kids on it. And the cutest thing, there's a little space kitty just down here. I had this fabric, I had it for a really, really long time in my fabric stash. The struggle is real, guys, when you're a sewer and a knitter, because you have double the amount of stash. It's ridiculous. So I made a little project bag, and I've also just tapped on there my little unicorn progress keeper, again by Molly of a Homespun house. But yeah, my next work in progress is another pair of socks made with regia self-striping yarn. If you watched my Vlogmas videos, I found this in December, and I said that I was going to make socks for Emrys, and I'm living up to that. This is the sock that I've been working on. I have just been knitting it on bamboo needles using magic loop. I am doing a afterthought heel. So this dark blue line here is where the afterthought heel will go. This is actually the second sock. I do have a completed first one. Well, it's completed without the heel. And Emrys is very excited for the fact that he's going to be getting some socks. This is like the first thing that I've knitted for him for years. I did make him a Christmas jumper way long time ago, pretty much I think when we were first going out. He really wants these to be finished because he loves the colours. And I'm super happy with how the stripes are matching up. I'm really enjoying the kind of mindlessness of these, because I'm literally just knitting a tube, and just going round and round and round and round, and knitting is really therapeutic. And the self-striping yarn is so addictive. You just think, oh, I'll just do till the next orange bit, or I'll just do another stripe of colour, and you can sit there for hours and hours just knitting on these. So yeah, this is pair of socks number 3 for January. So if I were to get these finished, more points for me. We'll be talking about points later, by the way. Let's do a little tally and add up my points for this month, see how much yarn I can buy. So my last work in progress is another pair of socks, because it's not fair if I've cast on a pair of socks for Emrys and I haven't cast on a pair for me. So this does not yet have a little home, a little project bag, but I am running up some more. So I need to get some interfacing and that type of thing, but that should be finished tomorrow, and then this will have a home. But this is my next work in progress. Yay! So this again is regia sock yarn. This is the other colour. Look at that. It's like Parma Violets and Care Bears had a baby. I love it so much. And this, I thought when I bought it, because I bought it with Emrys's sock yarn, I thought they were both self-striping. And then when I started making this, I noticed that it wasn't. This is in fact just kind of variegated, all different colours. And I just wanted to cast on another pair of socks because I'm an addict. I hold my hand up. My name is Katie and I am a sock knitting addict. And I don't know if you can tell because there's a lot of colour going on. I am actually using the pattern of Hermione's everyday socks, which the texture, if I'm honest, doesn't really show up too well considering the amount of colour that's in here, but I don't mind. I don't think it looks bad. I think it would be shown off a lot more in a block colour. But it's nice. It gives me something different to do in comparison to Emrys's sock, which is just round and round and round and all the same. I'm also knitting these on my new DPNs that I bought in January in a sale somewhere, but I got them for a really good price. And these are the Knit Pro Zings. And I really like these because the join is like, there is no join basically between the tip and the needle. They're a lovely, lovely gold colour. I think they look very, very pretty in my sock. And yeah, I'm super, super happy with them. So yeah, if I get these finished and Emrys is finished, more points for me, more yarn for me, more stash for me. See, this whole point system, 50 points to Gryffindor, woo, 50 points to Gryffindor, was supposed to kind of curb my need to buy yarn and to buy fabric and anything. And to be honest, it's just fueling me. I'm doing a lot of crafting and a lot of making, which is amazing. That's what I wanted, but it's just turning me into a yarn monster. I think it's the Tiny Paper Foxes podcast who talked about wool piggery. I am a victim of wool piggery. I hold my hand up. I am a victim of wool piggery and a sock knitting addict. Talking of wool piggery, it's time for stash enhancements, my favourite part of the video. I did make a cheeky purchase with some money that Emrys and I had for Christmas. He very, very generously allowed me to spend some vouchers that we had for a secret project. It's a secret project that I will be revealing to you very soon, but it's for a fun new segment that I am so excited to start. I have a working title for said segment, which is Netflix and Knit. So make of that what you will. It will be coming. But yes, top secret project, but I can show you the yarn. So the first yarn that I got for the top secret project was one little skein. Here it is, one little skein of Blue Faced Leicester Aran yarn by Debbie Bliss in this gorgeous gold colour. Matches my wallpaper. The other yarn that I got for said top secret project is this. This is Felted Tweed by Rowan. I'm not going to get all of them out because there's too many, but I got like 11 balls, 11 skeins of this. And it is really kind of tweedy effect, if you can see. Oh, that colour's gone weird. But there's blues, there's whites, there's yellows, all kind of flecked in with the red. So I wonder if there's any kind of bright sparks out there who, looking at these two colours, can guess what my top secret project is. If you can, do leave a comment down below or kind of let me know what you think it is, because that would be so funny if any of you are actually clever enough to work that out based on such minimal information as to two colours of yarn and a working title of Netflix and Knit. Next up in stash enhancements is something that you have already seen before, because it's my second skein of Outlander Voolenvine yarns. I'm so excited that I have this. I'm proper like fangirling over it. It's quite embarrassing really, but this is it all skeined up. How gorgeous is this? How could you not want this? These colours, oh, like I've always say, being an autumn baby, I love the autumn colours and this just makes me so happy. I have 2 more stash enhancements. One is something that I was expecting, that I'd already paid for pre-Christmas even. The other one is a little sneaky. I shouldn't be buying this much yarn. I am currently following the Suburban Stitcher podcast. I love her podcast. And she is hosting, which I believe she does every year, a rainbow along. And it basically means you have to use rainbow yarn and it has to bring you joy, I believe, are the only restrictions that she has in terms of the rainbow along. And my candy cane yarn that I knitted my socks in, that Rolly/Emrys got me for Christmas, is by WoolyWonders. And I follow her on Facebook and on Instagram, and she posted this rainbow yarn. And I just went, oh, this is so amazing, so rainbowy, so sparkly. Again, it was the sparkle base that my candy cane yarn was on. And I was obsessed with it when I was knitting it. It made me so happy. I thought I have to have this. Look at this. I mean, it's like all the highlighters in the pencil tin just came to play, and you can see the sparkle. Can you see the stellina in there? It's insane. So I will be using this in the rainbow along, the Suburban Stitcher rainbow along. Sparkly amazingness. And again, this is the same base that the candy cane yarn was, which is 75% superwash merino, 5% sparkle sock, and then 20% nylon. And it's so squishy. Squishy. My last stash enhancement is something that I have been anticipating and expecting, like I said, since before Christmas. Doesn't make me any less excited to finally have it with me. But before I show it to you, I want to say this is a spoiler, because I signed up to a Homespun House Harry Potter yarn subscription thing. Club, that's the word. Harry Potter Yarn Club. Which was obviously hosted by Molly of the Homespun House. If you have signed up to this club and you have not yet received your parcel, then please look away. Please do not look, because I do not want to ruin this for you, because it was such a joy when it turned up on my doorstep. Okay? Are we safe? Fantastic. So the idea of the Harry Potter Yarn Club is just that. It's a subscription for 3 months. You get 3 skeins of yarn plus a little stitch marker or progress keeper or something like that. So when I saw that Molly was doing this, I got very, very excited, because as you probably know already from 50 Points for Gryffindor, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I love Harry Potter, and I love a Homespun House and her Molly's yarns and her progress keepers. I've bought quite a lot of things from her, and I think the quality is incredible. So it was a no-brainer for me. I had to sign up. And my parcel arrived the other day, and this is the yarn. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it so much. So this colourway is called, let me just get the label so I read it properly. Xenophilius Explains the Deathly Hallows. And it's kind of this creamy base with speckling of like dark greens, kind of gold. There's a tiny bit of red in there. There's almost black parts because the green gets so dark. But there's all kind of teal in there as well. When I got this out of the parcel, I sat and stared at it probably for the better part of an hour, just twisting it in my hands and just looking at it, because again, it's so soft. It is her Olsen base, which is 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. And I can attest to the fact that this is just so soft. It's not as fat and squishy as some of her other bases. So for example, the unicorn tail that I used for my shawl obviously has merino and cashmere, so it makes for a bit of a fatter yarn, a bit more squishy, a bit more luxurious. And this isn't the same, but it is still so nice and I love it so much. I don't know what I'm going to make with this, to be honest with you. I'm pretty much sure that it's going to be socks, because it is a really nice sock base. The BFL and the nylon combination I think will work really well for socks. I'm thinking of looking through my Ravelry and finding some really kind of intricate cable socks, because I think that would look incredible with this yarn. I am so happy that I have this. But it doesn't end there, because obviously you get additional things in the Harry Potter Yarn Club. And when I saw this, I again kind of squealed out loud, because I got a progress keeper. Harry Potter fans, hold on to your hats. Can you see? I have a Deathly Hallows progress keeper. Shut the front door. I was kind of blown away, because I don't know how on earth Molly has got hold of these, because I mean, maybe they are a popular symbol. I don't know. I don't know that much outside of kind of the symbolism outside of Harry Potter. I really don't know, but I'm just speechless, as you can tell. Speechless with joy about these acquisitions. And in case you haven't noticed, I am a big Homespun House fan. Check out Molly if you haven't, because she's brilliant. Go now and look at her website, and then please come back to me. So let's talk about the scores on the doors, shall we? For my 50 points for Gryffindor. Yay! 50 points for Gryffindor point scheme that I've been kind of working on. So far this month, I have succeeded in my goal. I have completed a large knitted project, jumper. I've also completed a shawl and 2 pairs of socks. All of these projects are made with yarn that was in my pre-2016 stash. The jumper and the shawl are both yarn that I have had for quite some time, and the both pairs of socks were Christmas gifts, which gets them just in under the wire. They are pre-2016 stash, which means I get even more points. So let's add up the points, shall we? A pair of socks is 2 points each, which means 4 points for the socks that I have completed this month. I have completed a shawl, which is 4 points. So an additional 4 points, which puts us up to 8 points. 8 points. I have also completed a sweater, which gets 5 points. 5 points for a sweater. Each one of these finished objects was pre-2016 stash, which means another 4 points. And one of these projects, which is my shawl, gave me a new technique, which was beading. So that is another point for a new technique. And this is really quite bad, because I think I've racked up like a hell of a lot of points. But this sweater is part of a coordinated outfit. I made it to wear specifically with this shirt, which means another 1 point for this month in terms of completed projects. So shall we add all the points up? That gives me a total of 19 points. 19 points for everything that I have completed so far in January. That is really good going for like less than a month. I'm really quite impressed, which means either I can wait till I get to 20 points and go nuts and get maybe 2 skeins of yarn, a couple of yards of fabric, or I can keep them stored up. If I know anything about myself, I know that I'm pretty much going to want to spend my points. We'll see. Obviously, I will let you know in my next What's on My Needles post as to whether or not I have spent said points. These points do not include anything that I have been sewing. I have another new segment that I'm going to be including very soon, which is called So What? And it will be detailing my sewing projects. I will be showing you this shirt in more detail. I'll be showing you my Christmas skirt and my plans for future sewing projects. Thank you so much for watching again. Like I said, you can find me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, so I would say that's the best place to follow me, as misslavellia. On Ravelry, I am misslavellia, and I am getting a lot better at posting my projects on Ravelry, so do please take a look to see what I'm up to. Like the video if you've enjoyed watching, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Happy knitting, happy sewing, and I will see you all again soon. Bye! Yay, jumper!